All right. Let's get started. So I do have a list. Okay. So I do have a list things I'm going to be going ahead to try and cover today. The awareness of your agent, the map you're playing on, and not even just the map, the mini map. You're going to go ahead and play on the general structure of the map and how it works, like corners, all that stuff. Usual tendencies you see during the round. Usual tendencies you see at the beginning, middle, and post plant, or assuming towards end of round, just in general, and how you should approach these type of things. So actually, the funny part is just as a side note, I didn't turn on cheese last time, so this is like my second time running through it. Luckily, I only went like 2 minutes into the actual map, so we'll see how this goes. And yeah, pardon me though, my voice is I'm a little in pain, sick recently, so we'll try again. So if you want to go ahead and just skip into it, might be able to just like fast forward into the actual round. I'm going to talk about agents real quick. I'm sure a lot of us already know that each character in itself is different in that way. They all have different tools you could use, and obviously they're categorized in different ways. Like we have duelist, we have our controllers, we have our sentinels, and we also have some hybrid characters that can be used as a controller and as a smoker, or a controller or as a sentinel, and etc. etc. And so those technicalities I can go in probably the later part of the series that I do plan on making for this game sense type of stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into this, and for the meantime, I guess what I could say right now in pre-round before we go into the actual map is that certain characters act as actual entities when going in. So Jet goes in with her cloudburst and acts as an actual intel getter when she dashes into her own smoke, when instead you could alternatively choose Sova and use his drone. And the list goes on with the many other technicalities of different characters. So for the meantime though, I'm going to go ahead and play as Sky. We're going to dive into this as Sky and see how this goes. One reason why I'm choosing Sunset is, as of recent, in terms of episodes, the last episode I have not played much. So, but I did end off when I reached a high rank of Immortal 3. I guess you consider that quote unquote high. I don't know. It's
No,
just
used to working with
want to
humans.
share.
Usually
what,
just me
man,
and my pack.
This is so
I guess
loud.
it's
It
worse if you guys
hurts
get
my
shot,
ears.
yeah?
Okay, so we're gonna go and turn on sheets, everything. So we're just gonna pause match timer, everything. Yeah, my ult's ready. Yeah. Okay, Sky. No goes. All right. So let's go and get started. I don't really know this map. I don't know all the cheap tricks and everything like that you could use to abuse this map. But what I'm going to show you is the fundamentals of what I think initially when looking at the map structure. I see that, for example, when I first jump into Sunset, I see if I'm defending, I can see that A has a long and has a short, right? B has a short and technically a long from mid. Somewhat similar to Ascent, where Ascent allows you to go through middle as attacker and go into catwalk or go into market as you go deeper into mid. But you have to still be afraid of this mid-top part, which you would have to smoke off. Really similar structures to all these maps. They're all really similar in that way. But the technicalities of the map really bring about the game sense in where people could be at any time of the round. So when you play sorry, pardon me. When you play the game, right? If, say, I'm going to go ahead and start off as attacker, right? Let's go ahead and end pre-round. Let's go ahead and go into the next game phase. So in the pre-round, say I'm playing as initiator. I choose initiator because initiator is what I climb the most with, because it allows me to utilize the game sense the best I can to make sure my teammates don't grief me, So I might have a teammate that just runs in and decides to insta dry swing this, and obviously if you're confident in yourself and you're feeling it, then you're going to be hitting your shots, right? Like You're going to be peeking like this. In my previous video, I was talking about how jiggle peeks and all those mechanics. I'm not really going to talk about that this time, but the game sense is that assuming you're good at aiming, you're just going to go peek and fucking kill everybody you see in the distance, all that stuff. And then you know that everything around the map, you know all the technicalities, you have that confidence to just peek, right? But say you don't. Say you're not confident with how you're going to go into the round. In pre-round, you see that the wall is here. Before you push out, you see the wall is here. So your first thought should be, always when you're playing through the mid-round, is where could my enemies be at any given point of time, right? So if someone could be here at the very beginning, as I'm pushing up, right, it takes me a couple of maybe 1 to 2 seconds. This guy could be pushed up here, wrapped up here, wide, and by the time we get a moment to peek, he could already be hiding behind this spot. He could be hugging this wall. And it's stuff, those little small technicalities. So sorry. Those technicalities matter. The reason why they matter is that they are little things that, they're the little advantageous moments where you could be easily picked off. And obviously the enemy is going to know you're forced to peek out from this angle or this angle, so they're going to either hold here or here. At least that's what I would do. So if I hold here, I know the enemy Phoenix always dry swings this one spot every time while I'm holding here. I'm just going to hold this. He's going to peek out, swing. I go for 1 to 2 shots, and then I just back out. So it's just the technicalities of understanding how to capitalize pre-round. So the later, capitalize pre-round. So as time goes on, these little things you can take advantage of, so to make the later part of the round within the time span of the round of 140 easier for whichever team. So how I would approach that is at the very beginning, right? Say for Sunset, I don't really know this map, but my first initial thought is I see the barrier here. I'm gonna go ahead and dog. Unless I have a teammate that feels confident to clear it itself, I'm gonna dog all of it and gain as much intel as I can in order for us to scale. When I can finally scale and know that my teammates are safe to push up, the next thing I do as I reach this part is I don't want to peek out. I want to have at least one teammate holding this, right? And then smokes are going to come out. When I see this, right, when I see here, the biggest things that I worry about when looking at B site is ideally the bomb site, right? Our objective, I don't even know where it's popular, but I would assume here so I can play B main control because B main is safe. I could hold a flank from behind, and I'm just assuming that's where people plan it, right around here. Maybe around front, and that's fine too. So that gives me an idea. If I want to go ahead and plan it here, here, or I'm playing maybe for mid control and I took mid early, then I want to plan it for here. So then we could make it so B market or B main is the control I'm taking when we have one lurk into B main early on. If we're doing mid control, that's the thing I'm trying to say. So if we have one guy moving in through here, and if we have a couple of dudes coming through mid to take mid control, and one dude coming B main, all of the things apply. That means I would want to smoke off maybe around here as we make space into backside. Or I could smoke here if all of us are going B main rush, like monkeys, and then we go and smoke off this one as well. So that means as I push out, this should be blocked out. The only thing I really have to worry about is close, right? And so since that's nothing I don't have to worry about. Another thing I don't have to worry about would be head to BB market, right? So this is gonna be smoked off. This is gonna be smoked off, assuming, right? Then going off that logic, only thing I really have to worry about is really just around this area, maybe close right, which is easily tradable, and also close left. Now your entry, assuming for me, my entry goes in, and then I go ahead and flash out for him to the right. Ideally, what I want to do is make it so everybody is blind upon entry, right? Now the thing is that I could flash left, but that makes it so right gets blinded, but left doesn't get blinded. Optimally, what I think is I want to flash right and up, at least around this area. So around up, that will get this, that will get this, that will get this. And Sky is really good for this way. Sky is really good in this way, where you could use her as an aggressive flasher or as an intel flasher. So my mind goes like this. It's the idea of making space. Go ahead and do that. And your idea in mind as an initiator or just as a player in general is I need to get onto the site and take space with my team. Because the objective is just to plant the bomb. So if I'm going to go ahead and do that, I go ahead and do that, flash out, boom, and now I'm out. Go ahead and do that, boom, boom, boom. And as you're going through the map from my aim video, remember that you're going to be wanting to cut the pizza, right? You're going to go ahead and cut the pizza. See which spots are going to be needing to be cleared and slowly do it if you're going ahead and taking advantage of this free space you're being given, right? So that's just the general idea of forcing upon entry and moving in with your team. When it comes to game sense and awareness, there's a moth in my room. That was a little random, sorry. When it comes to all of that, right, and you're making the awareness of your agent, this is just one for Sky, and understanding that when you're doing all this too, your minimap is your best friend on the upper left, right? So when you're taking advantage of the minimap, seeing where everybody is and making use of it, you can use all the intel you're getting, all of the force entry with your utility useful as you're going ahead and making map control and seeing where your teammates are seeing enemies. If they see them here, they'll show up on the upper left, etc., etc. So when it comes to all of that, the idea of going ahead and making space with your teammates and knowing when to go ahead and force upon entry, these are all things we already know, right? A lot of these things we already know. And I would say is very, very basic. It's very basic. The whole idea is just like, in a nutshell, if I could say, is I'm going to be running in, making sure I don't die from anybody close, push into sight, slowly clear angles, and understand that things are there. There are people here to my left, people here to my right. Maybe there's no one to my left, but then assuming that there's nobody to my left, I've already cleared that. What goes on in your head right there is important. It shouldn't just be, oh, he's not left. I mean, many of us will think, okay, he's not close left. But you then need to think, as you go up in the ranks, if he's not left, then where could he be, right? At the very pre-round, as you're attacking, generally the consensus is 2, 1, 2, right? But they could also gamble 3, 1, 1, right? So if I see one guy here, then I'm like, oh shit, all right, that's the one guy. Where's the next guy? The next guy could be close, so I have to assume close and hard clear it just in case. That's why we use utility, right? I see one guy far. Oh, he'll be close. Okay, he's not close. Then where's the second guy? Oh, I see it. Next guy's market. Like I just read right there. This guy's market. And now I know that there's one there and there. After using utility, then the smokes come out. Boom, boom. Then after doing that, we push in. This guy is not able to peek. If he pushes this smoke, right? If I put a smoke there, if he pushes that smoke, like he's like, this guy's dead, you know? Because he's just calling his death sentence. Because one guy is guaranteed to be holding it. If he's not holding it, then your teammate's griefing, you know? And then next thing you know, if you just saw him there, then it's going to take maybe around a second for him to peek right? That's when you guys entry and try to challenge market, right? And you can even do the technicality of actually going ahead and sneaking up here and moving up to force upon entry and clearing left. Just know that as you're already going up here, the guy from mid-top could be rotating to Boba by now. It's just the understanding the sense of pacing of map rotations as well. That's why map control is so important. So the whole idea of this video is to understand the idea of map control and how to properly clear it with your your utility. This is just like one little thing of it when it comes to understanding is map control. The whole round, the whole map in pre-round is like a chessboard. Is literally a chessboard. Like I want to fly over to the other side just to explain it better. Over here, if you're attacking, the whole map is your chessboard. Like, if I move in, this guy could be here. This guy could also be playing here close to play close flash and then get as many as you can and then die, and his teammates rotate over to play fast. You need to understand all these little things and understand where to capitalize at the very middle of pre-round. Middle of pre-round as you're going in well, not pre-round, but like pre-round's like buying guns, but like at the beginning of the round is what I'm trying to say. Same thing goes for a lobby, right? We start off right here. If my teammate wants to take elbow, right? The initial thought is I want to have my sky flash in and around to see if anybody's pushed up, because it was show that hey, somebody's peeking. It's good to be aware early on instead of being punished for that later on, right? So as we move to the right into elbow, right, and we gain that control, now we know that there's one guy here. If I flash early, he could be close right. He could be playing here. He could be playing here. This is where we use the duelist to actually flash out and take the information of clearing this. He could be then here. If he's not anywhere here, right? If he's not anywhere here, your next thought should be, oh, this guy could be like right here, hiding right there. Oh, this guy could be playing here. That's where our next initial thought is to smoke, right? Obviously, people just throw out smokes unconventionally if it's not if it's not like a organized team. In solo queue, you'll see yourself just diving in and running in to get the kills. But if you piece together the important parts of playing as if you're in a conventional team and utilize that to your advantage, your brimstone just says, fuck it, rush it, right? I'm a smoke here, I'm a smoke here. I want you guys to just push in and say, fuck it, kill everything, right? Now I'm going to be going over here, and what I would do personally is, this is smoked off, right? Now I'm clearing this, I'm wide swinging this, and now there could be a guy here. Instantly I swing this, and there's a guy right there. I'm going to get the first kill. I'm going for first kill contact of entry, but also to be ready for another guy close to swing me, and then also worry about that. It's just reaction time at that point. You could even, if given your utility of the agent you're playing, you could take advantage. Say you're playing a jet, right? And this is smoked off, but you don't know if this guy's going to swing you. Smoke yourself off right here and focus on whatever is on your left. It's just understanding that if you're feeling lost in the middle of your game, it's mainly because you don't know how to maximize the agent you have to the best of your ability. See, like if I was playing Sova, then I wouldn't just dry swing, I would use the utility I would use dart, I would use drone. If I was playing chamber, I would put my TP down. If I was playing Omen, I would go ahead and just flash out right, so I know right side does not have... If I flash out right side's not going to push out because they're blind. So then I can go just dry swing left and help my teammate pushing in from front. The list goes on. You can give me a BS character like Yoru. Like, if I know that I have a TP here, I'm going to go ahead and send my clone out right side and see if they shoot it. And if they do, then I know one's right. Then I'm going to focus on the right. And then, say my teammates at main are fighting over here, I can go ahead and throw a flash right here, right? So then it'll blind whoever is back here, regardless, because this is an FOV if they're holding it wide like this, right? Or I can even flash it higher. So if they're playing even as much close to the box as possible, maybe it might blind them, let alone I can go and focus on... I don't play Yoru, but you get what I mean, right? It's just utilizing your utility in the moment to gain as enough space as possible as an attacker. Now, the whole thing kind of transfers in a way if you're playing defender. It's about surviving as long as you can or playing your life in order to defend a site or to retake a site. When you're attacking, it's about utilizing your utility to maximize information. I want to say that again, information on where to go on the site and how to capitalize where they are, or just know the information of where they are on the site and make them powerless so that I can go ahead and just take the site. Because the whole objective is to get on the site and then play contact with your teammates to play proper trades to end off the round with proper utility, proper trades, and proper post plant so the bomb explodes and I get my Radiant Knight. That's the whole idea of the round in terms of map control. This is just the first part. I know it already took around maybe like 20 minutes to explain, but if you're feeling lost in the round in terms of what you're supposed to be doing, just keep in mind that as you're going throughout the round, that the utility you have, the agent you're playing, all of them play a purpose in terms of how I can go ahead and take advantage of the round given my utility. Yeah, it's just about what I could do with the tools I have, my expertise as an agent, or just even as like a person in real life. Like, if I'm talented at being a builder, I'm gonna build, you know? So if I'm talented at being an initiator, I have the abilities to make sure that my teammates can like get space, and I can use a flash, I can heal them, so then etc etc. I could heal them so they can keep on going. I'm gonna utilize the best of my ability to do that for them. And that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You're trying to set up your team for success. And if you're trying to solo carry, then you're going to go ahead and do that anyways, the more you get more in tune with the agents you play. And that's all about choosing the right agent for your playstyle and much more. So that's just the whole idea of what I was trying to show. For the first one, at least for Game Sense, you need to take initiative, right? You need to take initiative with understanding not only the map control when it comes to spacing with what the enemy can do and what you can do to counteract that. Because in order for you to maximize the potential of a round, you need to go ahead and compensate for all the things that your enemy could do, right? And it's all about what they do at the beginning. Even like if I'm pushing up here, one thing I want to notice before we end this off is if I'm pushing up here towards elbow and then a dart comes out from alley into here and it scans me, then the enemy knows I am in elbow now, right? But I now know where I heard he shot it from alley. So now I know that if this guy's playing here and I heard gunshots from link, nobody most likely is on site, but I still can't guarantee it. So I'm gonna go ahead and clear it. But that tells me that I can go ahead and just flash out here towards CT, push out, and hard clear this to play trade with my teammate as we're walking out, because this guy right here is not just going to push out of nowhere just to swing me and then die from here. That's mad talk. So the whole idea is that it's cause and effect. It's if not this, then it's this. You know, if you took programming, which I didn't, but I took a little bit of classes, it's kind of like if else statements. If not here, then else should be here. So if he is not on a link, then he could be on a site. If he's not in alley, then he could be anywhere else on this site, given that the whole thing we said earlier is 2, 1, 2. Then you could say that, okay, maximum there's going to be 3 here, unless they stack 4 because they're on eco, etc etc. But you're going to want to go ahead and use the fundamentals to take advantage of those type of things. Like I heard one CT, okay, boom, one could be on site. I'm going to hard clear it with my util first, but I'm just showing an example of like, okay, how I would go into the round. All right, my teammate is trying to fight this guy, but I'm already got my teammate here is trying to fight this guy, but I'm already up here and already made the space. This guy's smoked off. I'm gonna go ahead and help my teammate clear this guy out. Boom, 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 and then we're now up 5-4, right? And then this guy's dead, and now we have to worry about Ali, and Ali hasn't pushed out yet. So if anything, our team could decide to send 2 guys here. I'm gonna flash out for you. Boom, I'm gonna swing this bitch. Boom, he's dead. Now it's 5v3. And then say there's a flanker now. At this point, there might be a flanker because map control. So there's always this greedy bastard flanking from fucking around the world, right? So now, if you don't see anybody in front of a link or a alley, your next thought should be he could be flanking. After some time has passed, generally it's just like a whole formula of things that you've seen in previous games, and then at that point you're just like, okay, I know and I've seen this before. It doesn't even matter if it's a new map. That's usually how the rounds go. And even if this guy is already still rotating so slowly to a site after the bomb is planted and the guy flank is not showing either, if this guy is just sitting here, the last guy, then it doesn't matter. Just don't overheat and swing him. But this guy's are going to have a hard time having to clear every angle getting into sight. So the whole idea matches with that. If you get proper map control and utilize your agent to do that, you will win a lot of more games in terms of scaling harder and capitalizing on the enemy's mistakes with giving free information of where they are. So go ahead and take advantage of that. I hope I helped it the best I could. And the next video, I'll go ahead and talk about more technicalities when it comes to maybe clutches or somewhat, whatever you guys are curious about. And we'll go ahead and dive into that next time. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a good one. And yeah.